My name is Roni Teson, and here's my story. I'm a stage 4 cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at stage 4 in April of 2010. My journey began a couple months before that when I found the lump and didn't do anything about it. When I finally went to the doctor, it took about 3 weeks for them to figure out that the cancer had already spread to my lymph nodes and to my sternum. So I was faced with a major life event, as you can imagine. Over the course of the next 10 months, I went through 6 rounds of very aggressive chemotherapy, Herceptin. I had a partial mastectomy. I went through 45 minutes a day of radiation on the table. And during that same time period, several pieces of my life also fell apart. So not only was I faced with a major cancer diagnosis and an illness that could potentially take my life, my relationship of 9 years fell apart, my career fell apart. Doesn't sound real, sounds like fiction. Even when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, that poor girl, what she went through. As a result, I was able to rebuild my entire life. Today, well, within a year's time, I was also in remission. Today, it's four and a half years out, I'm still in remission. My life has considerably changed. I am a published author, which was a dream that I've always wanted to follow. I live on the ocean, which is another dream that I've always wanted to follow. So as a result of going through this tremendous life-altering year, I was able to rebuild my life. Unfortunately, a year out, exactly a year to the date, they found out I had thyroid cancer. So I then had to have my thyroid removed. It's almost like, can anything else happen? But as a result, today I'm living the life that I should have been living in the first place. So, and if we backpedal on this whole story, the chemotherapy that I went through, I had every side effect imaginable. It was something I said I would never do in my entire life, is live through and go through chemotherapy treatment. And spent 2 years having Herceptin infusions, which is ultimately what saved my life and reversed the metastasized cancer that had made it to my sternum. So the treatment, I believe, was harsh, but it saved my life. And that's why I'm here today. Anybody that faces a cancer diagnosis, the first thing that I learned, it's not really the first thing I learned, but one of the things I learned from this was that it doesn't have to be a death sentence. So you can beat it, or you can live with it even nowadays. You can choose to fight it and give it your best shot and live your life in a different manner as you get through this. And then the other piece of it would be, I'm totally lost in my thoughts because there's so many of them surrounding it. As emotional as it is, I think the biggest thing that happened to me was I just made a decision. I was walking around with this lump and I made a decision. All right, I'm going to fight it. I'm going to live my life, and if it gets me, I'm going to go down swinging the bat like Babe Ruth or whoever it is that hits all the home runs. If it kills me, at least I'm going to go with a smile on my face. And if this moment is my last moment in this chemo circle, I'm going to try and enjoy it. So you can make the decision to fight in that manner and come out of it at least having some better moments or a better lifetime. And then the next piece that happened to me was I actually came out of it, I almost have survivor's guilt because people that I know that had stage 2 cancer are now gone, and now I am living without cancer and living a wonderful life because I made that decision to fight it and come out swinging. The other piece of it is that I was very active with my with my doctors. I was, tell me exactly what I need to do, where I need to go. And when I couldn't listen, I had somebody there that either tape recorded or could listen for me because it's such an emotional thing to go through. I have lost some people to this disease that did not listen or did not pay attention to their doctors or pay attention to what they needed to do. One person I'm thinking of right now, when I asked her a couple of years ago, what'd you have, stage 2? Did you have the hormone positive? I don't know, I just had cancer. Well, how are you doing right now? Well, they say I'm doing good. Okay, well, what do you need to do to make sure it doesn't come back? The conversation went that way, and as we sit here today, this person is no longer with us. So it's really important, and not to scare anybody, but just to pay attention to what you have and what you need to do to not only get rid of it, but keep it away. So those things are very important factors in fighting this awful disease. The last thing that I would do is give advice to, well, there's many things that I would like to talk about, but I want to give advice to the people that support the women that have this and men that have breast cancer. I sat in my chemo circle with a man as well, so it does happen. A lot of people don't know what to say or what to do when their friends or their relatives become sick and they have some kind of illness some people will go away and they'll go in the woodworks. I haven't seen my sister in I don't know how long because she couldn't handle it. Also, some others just say, well, what can I do to help? I want to help. All right, that's just a very vague question that if you're going through it and you're buried in all the emotions of having cancer, you don't really know how to answer. You know you have things that need to be done, and you know that you'll get to them eventually, but the main response is, no, I don't need any help. So if you're a person that wants to support and help somebody that's going through this, offer some specific suggestions, like my husband will mow your lawn, or I'll mow your lawn, or I'll go to the grocery store for you. I can do it on Thursdays. Make your list. Or I'll take your kids out to dinner, or I will take your kids for the day. Offer some very, very specific suggestions so that that person who's going through it can actually make the decision whether or not they want that help or not. It helps because if you're sitting in the middle of it, you have no idea what it is that you may need at the time. Okay, sure, I'll ask you for help. All right, so again, just be very, very specific about what type of help you will be willing to give them. And if you are faced with a diagnosis, it doesn't have to be a death sentence. I'm going to repeat that.